Hey, hey, hey. Time for an out of this world episode from our space. Here's a typical relationship scenario. You start out feeling like the very best version of yourself that you've ever been, and before you know it, you're dicking around in the relationship looking for some remnant of that person you were when you fell in love. Where does it all go wrong? Let's discuss that today on our space. First up, what's done is done. Or is it? After 3 years, I still can't get over. Me and my ex-wife were together for 11 years. I'm married, with 3 kids, and I have primary custody. Today, she asked to spend the night because she didn't want to drive back and forth to take our daughter to her appointment. She lives about 2.5 hours away tonight. She told me that she's about 6 months pregnant and her ex-boyfriend does not want anything to do with her and the kid. I told her that I cannot help her at all. She's going to have to deal with the situation herself. Of course, she told me how she didn't want him back, all the BS she sounded that she regretted being with her ex-boyfriend. I just told her, don't worry, he'll be back. And she would say, no, I don't want him back, and I don't want any help from anyone. Anyways, I feel relieved that she finally realized that piece of crap that guy was. And I was stupid to think that there was a part of me that she would actually bounce back and figure her life and actually help me out with our 3 kids, because I've been doing pretty much everything. I don't know why I feel this way. This is the point I realized too that how much of a nice guy I am. Update. I just wanted to give you guys an update. I didn't realize that I would get this much feedback and comments. I really appreciate it and thank everyone that gave me good advice. After my ex-wife took one of my daughters to her dentist appointment, she spent a little time, in our apartment, made sure my room was locked. I told her this morning that she can just drop the kids off to my aunt's after the appointment, but no, she just asked my daughter if she can spend it with them in the apartment. After she left, my aunt came to watch them. But now, she's trying to convince my eldest daughter to ask me if she can watch them tomorrow again, mom at work. I asked my daughter if she's the one asking, but she said no. It was mom, of course. She was using my daughter's phone. Apparently, our kids would like for her to spend time with her in our apartment. And then, of course, she cleaned the kids' restroom and did other things too. Well, my eldest said no, but my answer is going to be no either anyways, because, like I told her this morning, that was the last night she's spending at my place. I'm waiting to get home so I can just have my daughter tell her that she can't come again since Grandma and the kids have a plan tomorrow. I know what she was doing. She's trying to weasel her way back in. Not going to happen. All I want for her is to be consistent, like I take the kids to school and you pick them up kind of deal. Simple, isn't it? I don't want to see her. I don't want to talk to her and all that. OP, it's definitely sounding like she has ulterior motives. Trust your gut. If you don't think a situation feels right, you're probably right. You have sole custody, which means you have a responsibility to protect the well-being of your children. You don't have a responsibility toward your ex-wife at all. She's responsible for her own actions and consequences. The only reason why she's running back to you is because she thinks she can manipulate you and get something out of you that she needs. A sense of security. You're too good of a man to go through that sort of drama. You know what's best for you and the kids, and creating boundaries is doing just that. Well done. Let's check in and see what the community thinks. George20C says, good for you for not taking your sob story of ex-boyfriend and pregnant by him. She'll fall for the ex again for some strange reason. Stick to your guns. She made her choice. Take care of you and your kids. Keep contact only about your kids you had with her, nothing else. Good luck. DOP replies, thank you. I know I had to protect myself from that. Today I'm going to talk to her and tell her not to come here anymore and respect my privacy. And now for the update. I guess this is kind of an update of my ex-wife having a baby with her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, after 2 years post-divorce. It's crazy how a month ago she had a baby with someone and said the baby dad didn't want anything to do with the baby, but she's still going to his house, a 1-hour drive. Just like around 20 to 30 minutes earlier, my eldest daughter, 14, told me that she was with a new guy again, calling him baby and I love you in front of her 3 kids, and proceeded to lie to say, he's just a friend. What a freaking crap. How desperate can a guy be? To have a relationship with a single mother of 4 kids with 2 baby daddies, no job, no money at all? My ex-wife. I don't even know where to start. No shame at all. Instead of bettering herself, she's just jumping to another relationship. I'm really upset right now. I don't want my kids to see this mess, but now I need her to help me out picking up the kids from school. Since we have joint, I'm primary. Although it does sound rather messy, OP, I do understand that you still may need her for certain things and that she's the mother of your children. Are you able to consider other means? Perhaps a nanny, or if you're able to reach out to grandparents in some way? I know these resources aren't always available. Moreover, your wife has made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. Try not to concern yourself with what she decided to do with other people or on her own time. That's out of your control. Try to focus on how she treats your kids. Is she a good mother? Does she say some things that are inappropriate? Perhaps talk to her about that. Set clear boundaries and expectations. Additionally, having an open discussion about expectations can help both parents feel more secure and prevent future misunderstandings. These discussions are also worth having with your children as well as a whole family OP. When appropriate, discuss what this means with the children. They will likely have their own anxieties and concerns. Addressing their fears openly can help smooth out the wrinkles. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. First, we're going to check in with one community member. Western Season 4107. The comment is, I read your other post. Seems like when she realized that she couldn't weasel her way back to you, she just went on to search for another guy. I'm sorry for your kids to have to live this mess, but I'm also sorry for you to have to deal with all this. Up next, The Kiss of Death. Story, Weight Off My Chest. Advice requested from internet strangers. Hello. Wanted to preface this with this is definitely a burner account intentionally. Rule 7 would be violated if I use my regular account. I expect all of you to think this is fake, and if you do, just throw a downvote and move on. Just want some genuine feedback on how to move forward with this. The story I need to get off my chest. Around a year ago, my girlfriend was wanting to go on a trip out of state to meet up with some of her online friends in a group. I was very hesitant at first because my top priority is keeping her safe. I warned her of the potential negatives that can come from, especially going alone. With her being a petite, small woman, I knew it was something that she would not be able to fight people off easily in a worst case. This was out of state, and they were going to a specific theme park I won't name. There were guys and girls, so it felt at least a little bit better knowing that they would not be alone and with other girls there. They had known each other for several years, and it was an online gaming group for a game I had very little interest in. Looking back at it now, I should have insisted that I went in order to help keep her safe, but that was my flaw, and hindsight being 2020. I specifically told her the situations that she would get in, that I would pay for every Uber taxi service to ensure she is getting to her public destination safely. To avoid situations where it's just you and one person, male or female, along with a hotel room that I also paid for because she did not have the money at the time. This was all to make sure that she would be safe. I'm not rich by any means, but I try to care for people that I care about. She had been in abusive relationships in the past, as she told me. I even outright told her to not accept rides from anyone in that group and to bring pepper spray that I would pay for. Fast forward to the point where the trip was about 5 days away. I get COVID and I could not work for 2 weeks at the time due to company policy. I was in a horrible place mentally because I felt like crap and could not work. I really value helping out my guys at work and know they were struggling without me. I was impatient and, to be blunt, just needed to be cared for. My girlfriend, days before the trip at this point, said she would not touch me because it would risk her not being able to go to the trip if she got COVID. I tried to be understanding of this because the amount of planning she did and how excited she was for the trip. But the amount of times I have helped her when she was sick just made my stomach turn. She slept in a separate bed the nights leading up to the trip, which also was horrible for our mental health. She goes on the trip, sends me some pictures and texts me every night saying things are going okay. I was extremely worried even with having a hotel set up for her so that she would have a room for herself. I had a gut feeling that something bad was going to happen. And that is why I felt like it was partially my fault that I didn't go. Although to be fair, I wouldn't have been able to go either way since I got COVID days before she left. I wouldn't have been allowed on the flight. COVID mandates and overreach was much more strict at the time. She gets back from the trip, and after the initial phase of telling me how great everything was, she starts to get really upset with me. I was still extremely ill at this point. She told me how I am always depressed, and she feels like she can never make me happy. And I finally started feeling better physically, mentally, I started to feel worse. She starts going in on me for being depressed. I've had depression my entire life, been off and on medication. This is news to no one, including her. I try to not make the depression thing a big deal, and it's something that I just work with and live with. I have been in therapy forever and actually got her to go into therapy for her daddy issues and abusive relationships. Then she freaks out a night later and says she is bisexual after getting mad at me. At this point, I start to put the pieces together and ask for extremely specific questions. She keeps dodging them and starts saying, "Would you still love me if I'm bisexual?" The question seems completely pointless to ask. If she was bisexual and acted on anything, then she would be cheating. It's plain and simple. Then, after more nights of her blowing up on me for seemingly no reason at all, she explains a story she had when she had someone, guy friend, drive her to the place they were going to eat. She said he made advances on her and kissed her. It took her a second to realize what was going on as she pulled back and stopped him after a second, but went as far as to say, "I don't kiss her enough, so it felt nice." Just reeks of abuse in my head writing that back out now. Reason I have been hesitant to post this in general is because it was just a kiss, and wasn't sure if this was grounds for being considered full-blown infidelity. I talked to my therapist about it a lot because I do in general have a lot of trust issues, even before this incident. My therapist brushed it off, at least as the incident. Explained how infidelity is extremely common, and that it was not as bad as I claimed it was to our relationship. I have known this person since I was in early elementary school. It is hard for me not to take that advice with some weight, but it doesn't seem right. To put it blunt, I just don't believe that she is telling the truth, and that is all that happened, even though she has told me the story in vivid detail over 10 times. I have lost such a huge amount of trust in the relationship and have grown paranoid with people lying in general. My work does not help, and I understand it is unhealthy and cynical. I just feel like everyone at this point lies to their teeth. I'm not sure how to proceed, and I expect people, if they even see it, to reply with, "Just dump her, don't walk away, run away." But I was wondering if anyone else had a similar instance and actually succeeded in the relationship after that hardship. I don't want the relationship to end, but maybe I need it to. She has started to be much more transparent with me in order to gain back trust, but it truly feels like the only thing that will help is time. I have been through multiple close family deaths in recent years, and as much as it has effed me up, I know that time is the only thing that has healed it even remotely. I have not told any of my friends or family. The only person I've told is my therapist. I know that if I told my friends, they would tell me to dump her and try to heal. Also, part of it is probably embarrassment. I take pride in the healthy relationship I thought I created. And with all of her struggle, I thought I was really giving her a win, as cheesy as that sounds. Before this happened, I could never imagine in my entire life getting cheated on, and now I am paranoid, internally, anywhere she goes for over a few hours. I've been in a relationship for 6 years now. We have had our ups and downs, and have been physically living together for around 4 years. I am by no means perfect, but I try so hard to make a stable relationship, and one that is abuse-free. I'm extremely level-headed, and out of the 6 years we have been together, I've only yelled at her one time, and very loud volume. Please let me know if there is any other info that is, not revealing personal info, that would help. I appreciate your feedback, even if it is just dumper. Thanks for reading, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. Trust is an essential component of a strong relationship, but it doesn't happen quickly, and once it's broken, it's hard to rebuild. When you think about circumstances that could lead you to lose trust in your partner, infidelity may come to mind right away, but cheating isn't the only way to break trust in a relationship. Maybe this happened in a time of your relationship where you both need to look inwards and uncover some truths about yourselves before you truly ask yourselves what you want out of a relationship. Sometimes insecurities can make our minds race and create scenarios or situations that don't even exist. This can be a killer in a relationship. On the other hand, it sounds like your partner is struggling to come to terms about who she really is. Growing and becoming your own individual while you're in a relationship is extremely hard. Oftentimes, two individuals don't grow at the same rate. Maybe now is a good time to sit with yourself and really ask yourself who you are. Take a good look inwards. You aren't the same person you were when you first began dating, and neither is she. Have you ever felt like you were growing apart in a relationship? What do you think caused that? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And now we're going to check in with the community, starting off with Mrs. Jingles 0729. Kids kiss. Adults don't stop at that. Even if you believe that, why didn't she tell you right away? Why so defensive? Why blaming you for not kissing enough? She is trickle-truthing you. You'll never get the full truth. You'd think she'd really appreciate having you bankrolling her vacation while she screwed another guy while you were homesick. It was probably an emotional affair for quite some time already. There is no love or respect there for you, just a selfish and entitled user. Get tested and move on. Tertier78 chimes in next. You're not going to find many stories of success here. You're high on hokium. Transparency is the basic bare minimum to help you heal here. What is she doing to get deeper as to why she could leave you with lifelong trauma? I don't see much success here. The real work isn't being done. The next extensive thought comes from Cat111555. Honestly, when I read this is what I see. She was worried more about meeting random people than about how sick and struggling you were, avoiding giving you intimacy and comfort in your hard times. She mocks your depression, making you feel bad for going through hard times, Though she made no effort to support you in these times, she complains that she can't make you happy, putting the blame on you, as if you're just doomed to never be happy, which is immensely hurtful to say to a person who is prone to depression and already feels this way. Then, the next night, she conveniently, after going on a trip alone with other women whom you have never met, tells you that she is bisexual and directs the focus to her feelings and issues with her sexuality instead of addressing your concerns and questions about the obvious correlation between her trip and sexual discovery. Days later, she eventually admits that her and a friend from the trip shared a kiss, and the reason for her to take a second to deny his kiss was because you didn't kiss her enough. Obviously, we don't know exactly how it went down, but I can assume if she didn't tell you immediately when it happened, it probably escalated. So I would confidently say this is cheating, and the fact that she tried to excuse cheating on you by deflecting it back onto you is absolutely abuse. 4 separate occasions in this small story that show how much she respects and cares about you. Your therapist is questionable. Although they're probably trying to make you feel better, just because infidelity is common does not make it okay. Sexual assault is common, robbery is common, murder is common, child abuse is common. Does that make it okay? Absolutely not. The frequency in which it happens is relevant. You do not need to lower your standards just because other people do. I know exactly how you feel, and I am so sorry you're going through this. I felt the same way when my boyfriend cheated on me, about being so embarrassed I didn't want to tell anyone, loving him so much I didn't want to leave him, and believing in how good I am and how good I treated him that I didn't want to accept that he could actually do that to me. But you need to accept who she is and what she did. You need to detach yourself from her and let her actions be embarrassing without you being embarrassed, and so on. You deserve better, and with what you wrote, I do believe you are way better off moving on. It sounds like the relationship is causing more harm and pain than love and fun, and it sounds like an unequal dynamic between you two. Thanks for joining us today in our space. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know what you thought of today's content in the comments below. See you next time.